This is Boxing Tickets NI. We are here at MXD Promotions Gym. I'm delighted to be joined by the Magic Man, Mark Dunlop. How are you, Mark?
Yes, good, Steve. Still doing a few tricks to get good opportunities for the boys, and it's great to see you again. It's been a few months. I think it was Galway the last time we hooked up.
Definitely was. Obviously, I know you haven't done a show since February, but obviously you're involved in the matchmaking, and obviously another great matchmaking show. You were involved in the matchmaking the last Galway show as well, so there was two really good shows in Galway, and
yes,
you were the man that put the good fights together.
Yes, and I've also been working with Matchroom, sort of a few fights on some of their big shows, and just trying to get good opportunities for everyone that I'm connected to and helping behind the scenes. But that's my job, and that's what I do, and I enjoy it. Same as you enjoy yours, brother.
Definitely do. Obviously, anything involved with boxing is always very worthwhile. I guess probably a good place for us to start today. We're obviously just over a week since obviously Belfast and the new world champion. Our first world champion here since Ryan Burnett. Our first world champion in 5 years since TJ Tahini. But like, this is what we've obviously craved this last year. So we're just over a year since, pretty much a year since colm obviously fought in the SSE. But amazing for obviously Irish boxing now, the fact that we now can say we have a full legitimate world champion again.
Well, as I say, I do rate the IBO as well, so I'm delighted that he's a double champion as far as I'm in my eyes. You know, I would take that all day long for any of my fighters. But Anto is a complete gentleman. You know, he trained up here before the fight, sparring. In fact, as I said, I have some Tanzanian sparring partners over at the minute, and he came up and he was very, very generous, give them boots, really done, you know, had chats to them, photos with the belts, you know, behaving like a true champion does, and I'm delighted because, as I said to him before the fight and afterwards, you know, like, it's not what that fight brings, it's what the aftermath is, and like, no matter, no one can ever take it away. Money will come and go, but he is down in the history books now, you know, as like a double world champion for, you know, for Ireland, North and South.
It's obviously, I know he created history and stuff as well. Like the good thing, and I know I've spoke to you in the past, I've obviously spoke to Jamie Colm as well. It's the after effect that something like that can bring. You know, I know Anto probably hasn't had much sleep in the last week. He can't even put his bins out without people not knowing him. He's sort of become a big celebrity overnight. But like, what's to follow now? You know, we know we've spoken in the past, but obviously Mick and everything else. It's bringing the big TV companies here.
Yeah.
Obviously, Queensberry are back now.
Yes.
28th of June.
Yeah.
And obviously you have a couple of fighters in the card, so it's pretty much fell perfectly. We've got a world champion as promoted with Queensberry, and now Queensberry are back in Belfast. It's huge for you and obviously your fighters.
Yes. No, as I say, first part of your question is like, for Anthony, like, you know, he's just changed his life completely, and you know, I'm hoping he gets a big fight, you know, not one that he'll never have to work again from or live very comfortably, and he deserves it because, I mean, all these kids have all boxed in my shows, including Anthony, and he's had a rough ride, but, you know, patience is a virtue, and he stayed patient and stayed grinding, and he took his chance when it came, and yeah, no, I'm delighted for him. And yes, it's fantastic news that he's linked to Queensberry, who, you know, I've re-affiliated with. You know, I had several meetings, you know, regarding, you know, Conor Quinn, for example, and they really, like, as I say, everyone believed in him. You know, Carl Frampton put a good word in, I put a good word in, you know, and they're here to see what Conor can do, and it's very, very exciting for local boxers, because it's not just, as I say, these big nights aren't just for like the main or the co-main. These fights, you know, these shows give a lot of people like a big chance to showcase themselves.
It's obviously, I know it's been a couple of months obviously since you got Conor's obviously deal over the line. Like, you and I, and obviously anybody that's seen Conor box know the talents he has.
Yes.
For him, obviously, now they have a big promoter behind him, and I guess now they see that what they've obviously done with Anto, obviously Conor can now see a path for himself, obviously, and having that promoter behind him, obviously having your backing behind him as a manager as well, like, it fits very well for the future, the fact that he can now see a career path on the line for him, but his destination of becoming a world champion seems more realistic for me.
Yes, so 100%. No, as I say, he's been obviously promoted by myself up to this point, same as all the fighters, and whenever they're ready, and I think they're ready, that's whenever I'll let them go to a bigger promoter. First and foremost, you have to be ready to fight anybody, and on the 28th of June in the SSA Arena, you know, Conor Quinn will fight for the Commonwealth flyweight title. It's a title that he's earned his right to fight for. He'll be their first, I believe, their first fighter to come through the silver belt process, where you know, you win it, you defend it, you become mandatory, you get your opportunity, and you take it. And as I say, all people sitting watching, you know, like whether it's MSD promotions or whether it's Conlon boxing, everyone wants the big nights, but you have to get on that platform. You have to be willing to fight who that promoter or promotional outfit want you to fight, because you know it's about entertainment. So yeah, so Conor stepped up to the mark. He's got a real tough opponent. He's fighting a kid called Conor Kelsall, who was a top class amateur, 7 times national champion himself, and from England, and 10-0 undefeated. And as I say, they're at this point in their career. Both of them were, you know, like, it's not over for the loser, because the division's limited, but they're 2 top kids, and it's going to be a top fight. You know, personally, it'll be like, for me, a bull de matador. I can see this kid coming and running and trying to steal it, but as I say, no, it's not a race, it's a fight, and Conor Quinn will fight.
It's the first, obviously, in the builds of obviously the wish list for Conor. Obviously, Conor said, you know, he dreamed of obviously Commonwealth, British, European,
yes,
world honours. So I guess in you, in some ways, you sort of that checklist to go, Conor wants to win the Commonwealth title. You can put obviously a tick towards that. So you're obviously doing everything that he wants. At the same time, I guess, if you keep your fighter happy, yeah, he's obviously, you know, he's going to do even better for that. Yeah. You know that everybody knows, Mark, you're in a really trusted, obviously, manager, or everything else, you get the best for your fighters. So there's your proof in your pudding, right? Yet again, that you're delivering from.
Yes, but it's not a box ticked, it's an opportunity accepted. What I'm saying is, he still has to get past a real tough challenge and an exciting fight. You know, it's going to have people on the edge of their seats, rolling back and forward, definitely. Because this kid is game enough to come here and fight on a big stage. You know, the SSA Arena is the mecca of boxing in Ireland, isn't it really? North or south, I keep saying that. You know, Belfast is the home of boxing, but like, you know, it's a big stage, and a big stage for both fighters. I'm friends with Kelsall's manager. We've had a handshake and said, no, good luck to both men. You know, like, but Conor still has to win the fight. Mm-hmm. So it's not what, we'll not look past it. He's mandatory for the European title. I'm sure it'll not be long before he's installed as a British mandatory as well before. But first of all, none of that
matters until the through this.
Until he successfully beats Conor Kelsall, and that's first and foremost the only thing on Conor Quinn's mind.
I guess the good thing is obviously Conor's fought there obviously before, obviously in the SSA Arena, so it's not really a daunting task to him.
Yeah.
He's got that experience obviously of fighting on a Queensberry show last year.
Yes.
It was on before the TV last time, obviously this time he's going to get that TV exposure as well. TNT Sports, you know, it's becoming the home. Frampton obviously does a comment and stuff like that as well, so it's going to be a real big moment for him.
Oh, 100%. It's as I say, he has boxed all around the world for Ireland anyway. He's top class amateur, he's fought Olympic champions, everything. What I'm saying is, you know, he's fought in the big stages, it doesn't faze him. You know, he's got tunnel vision, and sure, what more do you want? You know, but again, like, it's an exciting 50-50 fight, and that's what I love about, you know, boxing. You know, like, you can, once you step, and then it's like, let the leash off and we'll see what we've really got. Is he magnificent? Is he not? You know, we'll find out on the 20th of June.
And obviously another fighter of yours, obviously it's fought in the SSA Arena before, and coming back to somewhere he's boxed before is obviously Colm Murphy. And obviously I'm sure you're delighted they obviously get Colm on the card as well.
Yes, well, as I say, for me personally, like Frank Warren was, growing up, like someone that I was in awe of. You know, it was amazing. I remember going to the Odyssey in 1991, I think it was, or 92, I can't remember what the actual show was, but I remember waiting in the queue to get Frank Warren's signature. I mean, it's all come full circle. I know it's not my first fighter with them, I've had several, you know, fighters, but to be like working with them on this show is phenomenal achievement for me. You know, like, we've all got achievements and goals. But as I said, you know, I have many friends in boxing, and many heroes, and I can honestly say that Frank Warren is one of my heroes. So to be given the opportunity to work with him here in Belfast in an arena that I stood and waited for his autograph as a young man is unbelievable. And yeah, it is. It's a God's honest truth, and that's not blowing smoke or anything. That is genuine, the truth. Also, as I say, for Colm to be again, Colm won his first title also, you know, on, I think it was McConnell's undercard. So like in the Odyssey, so for him to go back there, you know, these guys have fought everywhere. So even amateurs, you know, and I'm delighted to announce that like he's, you know, the Colm's fighting for the Commonwealth Silver Featherweight title, which is another stepping stone towards the Commonwealth. You know, he fought an eliminator. He's the only Irish champion at this present time, and he's the Celtic champion. He's won everything in Ireland, so it's good to push on. He's going in the right direction. He's worked hard. He's with me now 3 years. You know, in that time, this will be his 12th fight, what I promised him, and 33% of them of that his career have been championship fights or eliminators. So yeah, he's delighted. You know yourself, you've just witnessed like him signing another agreement. So he has faith, and that's fantastic.
It's scary, you know, to think as well, like some of obviously his fights have been through the pandemic, and obviously I know we've spoken it before, like how challenging it was coming through the pandemic, but even when you think back, like 2021 sort of, when it first started out, they still have fights through the COVID and everything else. Like that shows a testament that the work you've put in, like there's fighters probably haven't even fought 3 or 4 times within that time period, so it shows you've really built foundations well with Conor and Colm.
Yes.
And obviously they're now getting the rewards because of that hard work and the partnerships brought together.
Yeah, so 100%. I mean, and anyone will tell you, activity is everything in boxing. You know, the more regular the fight, the better you become. It's not just about, you know, training for a fight every 6 or 8 months. It's the work done in between. Like the fight is the game, you know, and as I say, but not the training before the match. So, yeah, no, we just work hard, and they're obviously both guys sell plenty of tickets, have lots of fans, and you know, but in this game or business, whatever you want to call it, tickets can only get you so far, and then it becomes real. You've either got it or you haven't got it, and this is what's going to find out. You know, what's going to happen on the 28th. We'll know if we've got 2 potential stars, or you know, we'll find their level.
Obviously, Conor is obviously an opponent, not the Jack Turner from Liverpool at 6-0 with 6 stoppages, 6 first round stoppages. Yeah. He's obviously fighting Jack Turner from Scotland. Yes,
it's going to be incredible for 2 Jack Turners, you know, to be appearing on the same show at the same time. You know, I actually matched Jack Turner on the Matchroom show for his last fight. Jack Turner, the Liverpool kid, he's very, very impressive, and it's going to be a great asset to have him on the bill. It's very exciting. He's just signed with Queensberry as well. So yeah, Queensberry have really like, you know, they've really ripped, you know, British boxing apart. You know, they're willing to work with Matchroom, and Matchroom with them. So boxing's thriving at the minute. It's fantastic.
It's really good in the fact that, like, I know there's sort of been an agreement where, you know, where we've seen in the past, and you know, show clashes and things like that doesn't get the best for everybody. Matchroom and Queensberry sort of done an agreement now where they tell each other the fight cards so they don't clash, which is great, because the more eyes you can get onto the sport, it only helps the sport to grow. So like having that partnership, and I know obviously next week they're doing their 5v5 as well. So like, as you'll know, the more you can have a better working relationship with all the promoters around you, it only brings the very best out of you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I've been sorting this show out. I've visited every venue in Belfast, you know, like for months, till I finally got a cancellation in the Odyssey. We tried to go everywhere, you know, to get a, you know, and this was the only date available, you know, and fair play to Queensberry, like, you know, they're throwing everything at this, you know, and I just hope the fans come out and support the fighters, buy the tickets, and you know, it's a tough time. Obviously, when I mean that, it's the middle of the summer, like flights are expensive, hotels are expensive, you know, it's festival season, you know, but you know, there is still a lot of boxing fans in Ireland, you know, so hopefully they'll all come from all over to to make this event a complete success.
And it's sort of does the feel like a sort of next gen sort of type show. Obviously, not only your own fighters on it, obviously.
Yes.
There's other Irish fighters around.
Yes.
So like it's Queensberry's dipping into obviously the Irish market now because they've seen the success they've
Yes.
had with Anto. So
Yes.
like this is them bringing through the new crop sort of.
Yeah.
You know, Queensberry coming big into the Irish market. To
Yes.
sign more Irish fighters as well.
Yes.
So like it's great that. You know, and the good thing is the more people come out and support, the more Queensberry are going to come here as well.
Oh, 100%. No, the more they come, but ultimately they're not here to give money away. They're here to produce good shows for TNT Sports. And as I said earlier on in the interview, you know, if people want on this platform, they've got to be prepared to take good fights. And if there's good fights on, people will come and watch it. But as I say, starting out, like you remember when Frampton came here, you know, it was like with Matchroom, I remember there were only a couple of thousand, but they done the same thing. They took the Odyssey, and by the end of it, like Frank Warren came back here with Frampton, and it was bung to the doors, wasn't it? You know, and that's, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, but these guys started when they were wee boys, and we're just like myself, you know, and now Queensberry, they're guardians of these kids. And it's up to them now. You know, you can take a horse to water, you know. But let me tell you this, you know, the fights that Colm Murphy are in, you know, and Conor Quinn, like it's, you know, like the song, you know, Texas Hold'em, that is a game of poker. Mm-hmm. You know, this isn't, there's no messing here. You know, there's going to be a winner and a loser. And I'm just, you know, hoping that my guys win and, you know, and move on to the next game.
They both obviously, you know, they both value for money as well. Obviously, I was seeing Colm's last fight in Galway, and Conor obviously talent to burn.
Yes.
You know, they're both must-see fighters. Particularly, you know, when people look at the next wave coming through, these are two fighters' names that should be on everybody's lips. They say these are fighters we need to watch.
Yes. Well, to be honest with you, you know, like whenever I sat down with Frank and we were talking in the boardroom that day, you know, at Queensberry. They were saying, you know, well, slowly, you know, we knew it would be June whenever he was out, and they said to Conor, you know, we'll get you like a WBA or something, you know, regional title or something, and Conor just said, no, I'll take anybody, I want the big fights. So that's why we've got Kelsall in a Commonwealth title fight, because you know, he wants to push on.
Definitely. Is there any sort of comings and goings, sort of, I guess obviously you like to keep a lot of your stuff secret, like obviously you're going to expand on any more fighters now that you're getting Queensberry involved here, or is it just sort of keeping everything close knit as you always like to do?
As in?
Bringing more fighters, signing more fighters on?
Well, if there, you know, it just depends. Like what I'm saying is, I've a lot come and go over the last few years, you know it yourself. Mm-hmm. You can take, as I said earlier on in that interview, you know, I don't want to sign 20 fighters, and half of them, when it comes to this point, they disappear. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to actually have champions, and the only way you become a champion is to take a challenge. You know, that's the only way. Mm-hmm. So if you're not willing to challenge yourself, you know, I'm not willing to put my time and effort into that. So, like, I'd rather have elites than people, you know, not prepared to test themselves. So honestly, every day I get, my phone goes all the time, so I understand why the like of Frank Warren and Matchroom, Boxer, they are like, if my phone's tortured, imagine how their phones are tortured. Mm-hmm. But what I can do is get them to work to the other people's phones, you know. Yeah. But yeah, you know, but ultimately you have to be able to fight, you know, and that's the reality, you know, and it's boxing.
Yes. Well, look, Mark, obviously, thank you very much for your time as always. Obviously, we'll look forward to the 20th of June.
Yeah.
Obviously, the resurgence, obviously, the next wave, obviously, of fighters you've got. Obviously, you've Conor obviously signed the Frank Warren, so the next wave sort of coming through. But thanks as always for your time.
Yes, thank you for coming up, and yeah, great to see you again, brother.
I'm sure I'll catch up with you in Fight Week.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Mark. Thank you.